Hello, humans, monsters, and other creatures from all around the world. Welcome back into a new series of What If Deku Had Air Cannon? And if you doesn't know what air cannon is, well, basically it's the massive destructive power of All for One. You can say it's his sword and also his shield against the heroes, to say the least. And this power, this amazing quirk, I just wondered what could possibly go wrong if you just gave that power into someone as his heart so big, and also he's having such a great determination like Izuku. What could possibly go wrong with it, right? Well, I hope you will gonna enjoy the series because I am sure will do. Well, anyways, let's get right into our story, but let's put some points on of course, the words. First of all, Izuku has born differently, quite different than normal. He's not the normal green hair and green eyes emerald boy or something like that. No. He's quite special and also different. His hair has gone in a color between silver and white and black. He got some sort of a silverish hair with some black in it, and also such a bloody red eyes when he was born, which is basically reminded Inka of Hisashi, to say the least. But she, never cared less about her son. She always loved him as much as she always loved him in the normal anime. She never thought that he's a monster or something like that. She always loved him as possible as a mother could possibly love her son. And let's get right into when Izuku was 4 years old. Izuku right now in the school with all his other friends, as he just playing a little bit on the ground with a black cat on the ground, which is basically a kind of a bad luck charm, to say the least. All of us know that black cats are basically bad luck charm, right? Well, at least me, I have a black cat and I call it Void, but that's beside the point. For now, Izuku just playing a little bit until finally Bakugou developed some sort of a power. People around the place start hearing him doing some firecrackers inside his arms. As Izuku seeing this, he immediately getting closer into Bakugou and said, "Hey, Bakugou, did you develop your quirk?" "Yeah, Deku, look, I doesn't know what is it, but it's cool. See, I can do some sort of an explosion." As after that, Izuku said, "Wow, that's really so cool. Just wait until I get my own quirk." As after that, Bakugou said, "Yeah, it will not gonna be cooler than mine." As Izuku said, "Oh, you bet. I'm sure that will gonna be better than yours." As after that, Bakugou said, "Let's see." And after that, Izuku just talking a little bit with Bakugou, and after enjoying a nice, lovely day in the kindergarten with other beautiful friends in such a beautiful world, he decided to go back with his mother into his house. I mean, what other place could he possibly go into? As right now he's just in his bed and slept for the night. And the next day, Inko, just waking up Izuku, and Izuku coming out of his room and immediately just sit on the couch. As after he start, eating his breakfast, Inko start hearing a sound on the door. As when she opened the door, she see only a white-haired man with the red eyes wearing a suit just standing in front of her. As she said, "Oh, Hisashi, you came back?" As Hisashi said, Hey Inko, where is Midoriya? Where is my little boy?" As after that, Izuku, looking from the side of the wall, as he said, "Hey, Dad!" As he immediately jumped into his dad, and Hisashi just sit on his knees and got hold of his son, as he said, "That's my little boy that I love. What's happened with you? Tell me, does anything good happened with you recently?" As Izuku said, "Well, Bakugou has developed his quirk, and that's kinda cool. I wish that I will gonna develop my quirk very soon." As Hisashi said, "Well, I'm sure that it will gonna be such a great quirk. Just wait, I know that you will gonna have such an amazing abilities, but how about me and you go outside for a nice, day for only father and son?" Isn't that all gonna be cool? What do you say, Inko? As Inko said, well, how about first of all you come inside and we talk a little bit, and after that, both of you boys can go and enjoy yourselves. After that, Hisashi just come inside their house and sit down with his wife and his, nice son. In the end, after enjoying himself, Izuku and his father gone outside to enjoy a nice night outside. As Izuku just holding his father's hand, and Izuku said, "Where are we gonna go, Dad?" As after that, Hisashi said, "Well, not a very far place from the house. It's just somewhere for me and you to talk a little bit as a man, man to a man." As Izuku said, "No, I like to talk like a father and son." As Hisashi said, "Well, as much as you love it, I love it too, my son. Alright, let me carry you." As he just lifting Izuku up from the ground and finally got into a little park. As the park is right now nighttime and there is no one in the park. Nothing but the sound of the owl and the sound of of course, the little bugs around the place, and you can only see the firefly just going all around, shining the whole place, and the beautiful lights of Japan in the middle of the night shining like the stars in the sky. What could possibly go wrong, right? As after that, Izuku just sit down by the side of his father on the bench. As after that, Sasashi said, "So, Midoriya, how's your life nowadays?" As Izuku said, "Well, it's good, but I really miss you a lot. Why are you always working in America? Can't you work here in Japan?" As Hisashi said, "I'm sorry, son, but my work is kind complicated, so I really cannot do a lots of things with you. But don't worry, every time that I will be able to get the chance, I'll come here to visit you. Understand? I will never gonna I want to be there when my son will gonna develop his quirk. I want to see how cool he will be, and such a great person in the future he will be. Such a strong person." As after that, Izuku said, "Yeah, strong. I want to be strong so I can do a lot of things, like, protecting my mother, and after that, beating bad guys and things like that." As Hisashi said, "Well, I hope that you will gonna develop your quirk very soon. Come here." As after that, Hisashi just hugging Izuku and put his hand on the back of his head. As after that, Izuku just hugging him for a second. After that, Hisashi said, "Well, how about we go and eat some ice cream?" As Izuku said, "Alright." And after that, Izuku and Hisashi just left the park and gone to eat some ice cream. In the end, finally going back into the house, and Hisashi still for the night, by the side of Inko, until for the next day he decided that he should go, because that was just one day, time off or something like that. In the end, Izuku just, of course, his father gone to America, as supposedly to be. After that, in the next day, Izuku waking in the morning, saying good morning to his mother, everything going just fine. Going back into his school or kindergarten. In the end, the day ended, and the next day just came, and the next day just ended. Until that, Izuku, all of his friends inside his kindergarten has developed their quirks, as Izuku still the only one quirkless kid in the school. As after that, of course, Inko started getting a little bit concerned about Izuku being quite quirkless, as she decided to take him into the hospital to see if he will ever gonna develop his quirk. As after that, we cut into Izuku and, of course, his mother just sitting on a chair in front of none other than Dr. Ujiko. As after that, of course, Dr. Ujiko said, "Oh, Miss Midoriya, Mr. Hisashi told me that you were gonna come and visit me. So why are you here? Can I know that?" And hello, little Izuku. As after that, Izuku said, "Hey, Mr. Ujiko." As after that, Inko said, "Hey, Mr. Ujiko, I want to test if Izuku will gonna ever develop his quirk, or if he even have a quirk. Can you possibly do that?" After that, a couple of minutes just goes by, and the beautiful day has became. The sun start to set, to say the least, and Izuku's just sitting by the side of his mother, playing with the figure of Endeavor, actually. As after that, of course, Dr. Ujiko came back into the room and said, "Well, Miss Inko, I have some bad news to tell you. But as you can see here, Izuku is quirkless. He will not gonna develop his quirk in the future. At least, as much as I know, he will not gonna have a quirk for the rest of his life." As suddenly Izuku just dropped the toy of Endeavor out of his arms. As Inko said, "Oh, what? Dr. Ujiko, are you sure about that?" As Dr. Ujiko said, "I'm sad to say this, Miss Inko, but this is the truth. And if you want to tell Hisashi about that, I can tell him myself if you want. Maybe, just maybe one day he might gonna, develop his quirk by a miracle." As after that, of course, Inko said, "Are you sure about this, Dr. Ujiko? I mean," as Dr. Ujiko said, "just look here on this X-ray. You can see very clearly that Izuku have, whatever it was. I kinda forgot what the Dr. Ujiko ever said about the pinky toe or whatever." As he just continues saying, "And that's why he will not gonna develop his quirk, and now, at least for not the meantime, but maybe in the future." "Alright, Midoriya, I'm sorry, but you doesn't have a quirk." As after that, Izuku said, I doesn't have a quirk?" As after that, Inko said, "I'm sorry, Izuku. Let's just go. Thank you, Dr. Ujiko." As Dr. Ujiko said, "I'm sorry, Miss Inko, you doesn't have to hide it from me. I know that you are quite sad." As after that, Inko just leave the room, and after that, Dr. Ujiko just taken a sup out of his coffee, and after that just looking back on the X-ray of Izuku. After that, he just got hold of it and throw it into the garbage. As he said, "I told you to look very close, Miss Inko, but you just looked into the wrong direction." As he just show another X-ray, which is actually the true X-ray of Izuku. And while that happening, Izuku and Inko has came back into the house, and Izuku just sitting on his chair inside his little room on his laptop, as he just watching a couple of videos about Endeavor, how he's saving the people with a strong power without any wrong moves or something like that. He just doing everything by himself in such a smooth way. As after that, Inko were about to leave the room and said, "Izuku, tell me if you ever needed anything." As Izuku said, "Mom, can I possibly be as strong as him?" As he just looking back at his mother with the eyes filled with tears, and Inko just can't hold it anymore, as she just running into her son and hugging him, saying, "I'm sorry, Izuku. I'm really sorry about that. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. Please, just forgive me." As Izuku's just crying on his mother, shoulder until he lost consciousness. That wasn't the last time that Izuku has cried in his life, to say the least. From that day onward, his good old right life, the life that it was so perfect, a nice mother, a good father, and such a nice friends, has all turned downhills into hell. Basically every day, from the morning into the sunset, explosion being meeting up with his face every now and then, and just quirkless, nerd, idiot, stupid, asshole, nothing, worthless. All these words were going through his mind rapidly like a tsunami out of ideas and just thoughts. All by his old friend Katsuki Bakugou and the other kind of student in his kindergarten. His mother always tried to keep a good eye on him and to always help him, but Izuku was just seeming like he always getting a little bit far. Sometimes he even tried to go into the forest to train on himself, to try become stronger, because that's his goal. He want to become stronger, strong enough to do things that he couldn't do when he was a little kid, strong enough to prove that he have a worth, that he is someone, that he is something that people should know, or maybe even should fear. As right now we get into the last day of middle school. as Izuku's just sitting on his bench, or just sitting down until of course the teacher come into the class and telling everyone about the paper thing, and after that in the end just throw it in the air. Izuku just looking down while Bakugou stopped doing his moves and telling everyone that they are just beneath him, as the teacher telling Bakugou that he have a nice chance to get into UA, and he read also that Izuku want to go to UA, as he said, Midoriya, do you want to go to UA? As Izuku said, yeah, I want. As the teacher said, but why exactly? As Izuku said, UA can make me stronger than I am now, so I see no problem about that. As Baku said, no problem? UA? Don't make me laugh, idiot, nerd. You will never gonna become something strong in your life. You're basically a pathetic little brat, and you should know your place. As he just throw an explosion on the, of course, the bench of Izuku. After that, Izuku's just go down and fall on his back, as the teacher said, alright Bakugou, stop this already. As Bak said, whatever. After that, the day of the school ended, as Bakugou didn't done from hurting Izuku for the rest of the day, as he after that meeting up with Izuku after the class and getting hold of his notebook, as he said, what the fuck is this? As Bakugou reading inside of it, he see a lots of information about heroes and villains. Such a scary information. Their powers, how much can they use of it, the time that they need to recharge, the abilities, the weakness, a better way to kill them, a better way to knock them off, even a good way to even, destroy their quirks forever by simply attacking the place that they use their quirk by. Like someone using his hands to shoot fire, just rip them off and his will basically become quirkless. As Baku just reading this and said, why the fuck do you have all this information? What? Are you planning to become a villain in the future or something like that? I mean, seriously, you even have information about Endeavor. How to fucking kill him? Seriously, Midoriya? As Bakugou continues saying, heck, you even information about fucking All Might, but I doesn't see that you have any information about how to kill him. Like you even gonna kill him in the first place. That you even gonna become a villain. Just imagine it. A quirkless villain. What a stupid talk. As after that Izuku said, give it back to me! As Izuku just going on Bakugou. Bakugou dodging Izuku attack and immediately throw an explosion on his back, throwing him on his face on the ground. As Baku said, look at yourself. You're nothing but a pitiful little kid. As Izuku said, oh, really? You know that I have information about heroes, and you know that I know quite a couple of weak points, and most important thing, that I know your weak point. As Baku said, my weak point? I doesn't have a weak point. As Izuku said, oh, really? As immediately Izuku taking a bottle and immediately throw it into the face of Bakugou, as Bakugou being, right now covered by water, as he said, what the fuck? As Izuku going back at him to throw an attack, but immediately Bakugou trying to throw an explosion, but it wasn't as powerful as it's supposed to be. It was like a little firecracker, as Izuku immediately got hold of Bakugou's arm and immediately punched him in his nose, throwing him back on the wall. As Izuku said, you are sweating nitroglycerin, and it's something that you can possibly ignite using your arms, but if I throw water on you, something that will gonna get fused with the nitroglycerin of your body, you will not gonna be able to use your quirk very much. Of course, explosions will be much more weaker than normal. That's something that I know, and you can't refuse the truth, Bakugou. You have a weak point, and I know that weak point. As after that, the other two goons of Bakugou getting hold of Izuku, and after that, Bakugou stand up and said, you little shit! As immediately, Bakugou smashed Izuku with an explosion into his face. And after that, making Izuku scream in agony, taking his notebook, and after that he said, oh, really? Let's see how you're gonna use my weak point when you doesn't even have a notebook. As he immediately exploded in his notebook and throw it out of the window. As after that, he just kicked him inside his stomach, making him spit some blood. And after that, Bakugou said, "Why the hell are you even trying to become strong? You know what? Why don't you just take us take us one dive off the roof and wish that you were gonna get a quirk in your fucking next life? Maybe you're gonna be better than how you are right now." As after that, immediately Bakugou leave Izuku there with his goon, and Izuku just stand up and sit, "Fucking asshole." As after that, Izuku just taking his back and get out of the school, as he just going down and getting hold of his notebook. As he see it, the fishes start to eat it, as Izuku said, "Leave my fucking notebook." As Izuku got one of the fishes and throw it into the street, as a car just crushed the fish under her tires. As Izuku said, "Whatever, just give it to me." As Izuku just taking the notebook, and after that looking inside of it, saying, "Lots of information has been ruined, but some of them still good, at least for now." And after that, Izuku just got inside, under a bridge, as he just standing there and said, "Why the hell Bakugou get to be the golden kid and always be the better person, while I am basically much more smarter than him and much more talented? And he just being praised by his quirk while I am being thrown under the dust. This is not fair." As after that, immediately he hear a sound from behind saying, "Yeah, it's sure not fair, and it's not fair for the number one hero to follow me around while I am just basically a bunch of fucking sludge, right?" As after that, Izuku looking back, as he see the sludge villain just jumping him, as he immediately got hold of Izuku, and Izuku started being suffocating inside of him, as the sludge villain said, "I didn't know that freak was in town. Maybe you have such a white hair and red eyes, and maybe people will gonna look at you, but at least they will not gonna know that it's me, the one that's getting in your body, kid." Thanks to you, I can finally walk down the street without being scared of, making people look at me. You're my hero. As after that, Izuku starts getting suffocated, as he said, "Damn it, I'm gonna die. I can't end up like this. No, not in this way. Please, not in this way." As immediately, suddenly, he hear a sound saying, "Never fear, for I am here." As Izuku just seeing such a strong punch with a voice saying, "Detroit, smash!" As he throw a smash into the sludge villain, throwing him all around under the bridge, and Izuku being freed from the sludge villain, as he start coughing, saying, "Damn it, what was that?" As he look in front of him, he see All Might, as All Might said, "Ha ha, never fear, kid, cause I am here. How are you doing? Are you okay?" As Izuku said, "Oh, All Might, it's you. Thanks for saving me." As All Might said, "Not a problem, kid. Here, let me give you your notebook." As after that, All Might getting hold of Izuku notebook, as he opened it up by accidentally, as he just see in front of it a page for himself. All Might, quirk unknown, power high level, defend high level, a possible way to kill it, kill him not found yet. As after that, he just see two, red lines under the the word yet. As after that, All Might said, "What is this?" As Izuku said, I just do some research to try, figure out weak points of villains and heroes to, try making myself much more stronger hero in the future." As after that, All Might said, "So you want to be a hero? Can I know your quirk?" As Izuku said, I'm quirkless." As All Might said, "Oh, that's bad. Alright, sorry, but do you have a water bottle?" At Izuku said, "Yeah, I have right here, but All Might, can I ask you a question? You're not really the person that I want to ask that question, but maybe you can do. Can I become a hero even without a quirk?" As All Might said, "Kid, I'm sorry to bring it to you, but it's not really possible. There is a lot of villains in this world that are more dangerous than a basic criminals in the street. Much more terrifying villains that I fought in my life, and you doesn't even can imagine what I fought in my life. Believe me, there is no way that someone quirkless like you can become a hero. As Izuku eyes whiting while he's still holding the water bottle, as All Might said, I'm sorry, but can you give me, as immediately Izuku just throw the water bottle on All Might chest as he said, and you call yourself the #1 hero? You always say that people can become heroes no matter what. Everyone can become their own hero. And look at yourself now, looking at me with the down, looking at me down, like I'm nothing more than just basically some dust in the street. And you tell it, you saying that you are the #1 hero? Get out of my way! As after that, All Might said, wait, kid, as Izuku said, never talk to me. I didn't want to talk with you. I thought that you are the #1 hero. You're supposed to be the fucking symbol of peace. And that's how you make peace. Right, breaking people's souls until they finally cannot resist the truth. And just make them a mindless creatures that always follow orders, right? As Izuku immediately just leave the place and All Might said, damn it. Great job, Toshinori, you fucked up. As after that, All Might just collecting the sludge villain while Izuku start walking down an alleyway, just going through his notebook and going, just so angrily on his notebook as he starts ripping pages after pages and in the end said, I doesn't need this fucking thing anymore. Why did I even make it in the first place? As he just throw it into the side and said, damn you. As immediately he'd leave the place and continue going back into his mother house. After that, someone from the shadows looking at Izuku from behind as he just see his notebook as he said, just like the master said, he's such a talented kid, but too bad not a lot of people can appreciate how much talented he is. What a waste. Well, I'm sure that we will gonna meet soon enough, young master. As after that, Izuku finally got into his house. As immediately just go inside and go into his room as Inko said, hey, Izuku good? As Izuku said, please don't wake me up, mom, I just want to sleep. As Inko said, Izuku, does anything bad happen with you? As Izuku said, nothing, it's just nothing. As Izuku go into his room and immediately just slept for the night. Or at least slept for the middle night as he suddenly just hearing a knock on the door. As he stand up and after that Inko opened her own door and Izuku seeing Inko were about to open the door as she said, Hisashi, is that you? But immediately when she opened the door she getting hit directly into her face, throwing her back as Izuku said, Mom! But immediately suddenly some tentacles wrap around Izuku and smash him into the television as Izuku fall on the ground, start coughing blood as he said, what the? As Izuku looking back, he see two goons, one with a tentacle quirk that coming out of his back, and someone else with his hands are basically made out of metal, and a third one that he, have two horns on his head as he said, you, give me all your money, now! As after that, Inko said, please, we doesn't have anything. As after that, Izuku said, leave my mother alone! As Izuku said, leave my mother alone! As immediately the guy with the metal hands smashed Izuku directly into his stomach, throwing him back on the couch, and breaking the couch with Izuku as Izuku starts coughing some blood as he got some, scratches on his body from the, wood of the couch. As the guy with the horn said, come on already, metal, go and take all what you can take. Me and Tentacle here will gonna take care of this this woman and her girl, and her boy. As after that, immediately, of course, Metal just go and to take things from Inko room. As after that, the guy with the horn said, well, Tentacle, kill the kid, but for you, Miss Inko, I'm gonna enjoy myself with you. As he start licking his, limbs. As Inko said, please leave us alone. As after that, Izuku said, no, mom! As immediately Izuku tried to run on the guy with the horns, but immediately a tentacle getting hold of his leg and throwing him back on the wall. After that, the guy with the tentacle said, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to kill you, kid. To be actually honest with you, I'm not sorry. As he just wrapped his tentacles around Izuku's neck, and the guy with the horns arms immediately got hold of Inko as he started forcing her into a kiss as Izuku said, "Mom, leave my mother alone!" As after that, Inko tried to fight it, but in the end, of course, the horns immediately getting angry on Inko after she just kicked him between his legs as he said, "You fucking bitch!" As he immediately stabbed her directly through her eyes with his own horns. As Izuku seeing this while he started, still being suffocated, he said, "What?" As after that, Tentacle said, "Oh, come on, horns. She was beautiful woman. I wanted to enjoy myself with her." As after that, Horns said, "Whatever. Metal, did you got all the money?" As Metal said, "There is nothing here. They are actually doesn't have anything more than a couple of jewelries." As after that, Horn said, "Damn it. Alright, just kill the kid and let's leave." As after that, they look back on Izuku as they just see his red eyes with such an angry look and his eyes just glowing red and he's just crying as Izuku said, you fucking monster!" As he immediately taking his hand out and getting hold of the tentacle as he throwing his right arm in front of him and his right arm suddenly engulfed in wind as a strong air gust destroying the whole apartment building and a whole city block, destroy the building and all the villains in front of Izuku, deleting them from existence basically. All happened by only one throw of Izuku's hand. As Izuku said, "You fucking monsters!" As he just look in front of him, he see the big crater that he just create using his hand. As he just look on his hand and see, some wind going around of it like, circles of wind around his arms as he said, "What is this?" As after that, suddenly Izuku feel a massive pain in his left arm as he suddenly just throw it into the opposite direction as he suddenly shoot it into another direction, and that direction was the direction of one of the buildings, which is basically Izuku made such a big hole in the, of course, down the building, which is make it start to fall, and after that the buildings just fall and smash down into the ground, and the apartment building, or at least what's left of it that Izuku right now is inside of, starts getting collapsed as Izuku immediately getting out of the place and the place just turned down and being destroyed. As Izuku said, what's happened? What's happening with me?" As he said, Mom, as he start, going through the rubbles until he just find the dead body of his mother. He find that half of her body has been destroyed by the massive air guts or the air cannon that came out of his arm. As after that, Izuku said, what have I done? What have I done? What have I done?" As after that, police officers start coming to the place as they said, "Hey, kid, what's happened here?" As Izuku said, I didn't do it. I didn't." But immediately, suddenly, another air cannon coming out of his arms into the police officers, deleting them from existence and destroying another city block. As Izuku said, I need to get out of here." As Izuku starts running, and in the end, after a couple of minutes running from the police, and the police just trying to see what the fuck happened in that night, Izuku just got inside in a little alleyway as he started crying to himself, saying, "What's happened? What's happened to me? What the hell happened there? What's happened? What's happening with me?" As after that, Izuku hearing a sound saying, "Calm down, kid. There is no need to get angry. There is no need to get scared. Just calm down." As Izuku said, who was that? Who are you?" And after that, Izuku looking in front of him as he see a guy with a red mask on his head, on his, of course, eyes, with the lots of knives around his body. As the guy said, "You can call me Stain, and I gotta talk with you now, kid." And this is I'm gonna leave it off, guys. This is the end of part 1 of What If Izuku Had Air Cannon. Now, I hope that you enjoyed this little nice episode and such a lovely beginning of a new series that I'm gonna enjoy. So, I hope that you enjoyed, and tell me what do you think about this part and what do you think will gonna happen the next part. Well, I have nothing more to say then. Severed was here.